Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening and welcome to my live of Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host. Now, I'm on early tonight because Vincent Davis, the person you just heard from, will have a podcast at 7 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to be going from 6 to 6:45 tonight to accommodate his podcast. So that way he has drawing powers from not only my group, but from other groups there and vice versa. And if you subscribe to me, you'll get notified. And I see people are coming in here. Thank you, Ramono, for the thumbs up. That was really appreciative of you. And thank you for all my people that come in here. Regretfully, you're dealing with an agency that has become corrupt and not what they're supposed to be doing. The child protection, the CPS, I call the child protection system. Every state, there's a bunch of acronyms. In Arizona's Department of Children's Services. In California, it's the Child Protection Services. In Kentucky, it's the Cabinet. Even in LA County, next to Orange County, it's called the Department of Family and Children's Services. So it's really, when I say CPS, I mean all the entities are found in every county in every state and around the world. It's a child protection system. So when I say CPS, that's what I'm talking about. Now, the CPS is, I found, to be very corrupt. Now, they're supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse. And I am so sad to read about a story about a 5-year-old girl that was in Kansas. They tried to save her, but she died. And what had happened to her, she was living in a family that had a lot of corruptness going on. She'd been raped by a 25-year-old man. And she had gone to a homeless camp, I guess, because there was no place for her to sit there to get food and shelter and stuff. Now, CPS had been to their home several times, but they did not do a very good job. It seems like they only want to focus on low-income people and people they can take and not have to fight. And I'm so sorry because this 5-year-old girl does not have a chance to live up there. So I'm not against CPS. I'm against the idea that CPS has let a lot of things get out of control. And I know from firsthand experience. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I've had 15 years of fighting CPS experience. I've heard from over 600 people that have texted in or called in here. And I've heard from around the world, 17 countries. um, you know, and from different parts of the world, from Bangladesh to India to the Middle East to Africa to Europe, across the pond to North America, Canada, and the United States, and all 50 states, including Washington, D.C., Mexico, Central America, and no, I've not heard anybody from Central America, unless you want to call Mexico. And I don't know if Mexico is more North American than Central America. I have to look on that. And of course, South America, I've had one country there. And then across the Pacific and the land down under, I've had Australia, New Zealand have called in. So I have a well-diverse way of talking to people. And I've been doing this for a year. My shows are on twice a day, 7 days a week. And it's been going on for a year. There's over 700 shows have been recorded. So you can look at some of my first shows and my later shows. So they're there. They're there to help you, because I've come up with 5 rules that help you in your CPS case. I'm a family man. I've been fortunate to have 42 years of marriage and 6 children, 3 younger ones and 3 older ones. And it's my young ones that were taken by CPS. They were trafficked by CPS, and they were alienated from those parents. You know, alienation and trafficking is against the law, but somehow CPS justifies it. They do things we don't know, and that's what I'm here about, to help you all with your case. A lot of you have all kinds of unusual, and I hope that you will call in or text me a message or be a guest on my podcast. Now, my show times are on typically at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time for 1 hour, and then 7 o'clock at night for 1 hour. Tonight, Mr. Davis, my attorney, is going to have a podcast at 7, so I'm coming on at 6 o'clock, and my podcast goes from 6 to 6:45. And tomorrow, Thanksgiving, I'm going to do my podcast early at 8 o'clock, because there's a Thanksgiving function in my son's school. It's a football alumni type thing there, and he wants to be there, and I have to be there at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to come on my show at 7:30 in the morning. That's 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's 10:30 on the East Coast, but it is early on, 7:30 in the morning. And I'll go 7:30 to 8:30, and then I have a half an hour to get to the place there. So there's that time. Then on Friday, I have a final football game to go to. It's not the final. There's still the state championships, but this is the Southern California Regional Football Championship. It's a big game, and it starts at 7 o'clock. So I want to come on at 3 o'clock, but Natalie said that may be a problem, so it may be 3:30. Right now, she says, my producer says 4 o'clock would work. But I want to come on so I don't have to rush with the game. It's going to be sold out, and, my son, loves playing football and stuff there. So anyway, on Saturday, I come on at 8 o'clock because Vincent's got a show at 10 o'clock that he does. You just heard it. He just talked about his live podcast with question and answers at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So I'll be on at 8 o'clock. And then Sunday, I'll be on at 8 o'clock because I go to church with my family. So those are the adjusted times: tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But otherwise, I'm typically 10 and typical 7. And I want you all to join it. Now, Mr. Davis, you just heard him. He is a child dependency attorney. He has experience in family law and juvenile law. He's been doing it for over 35 years. He's also a trial attorney, and he has fought CPS and gotten children returned. He also, if your case is closed, done civil lawsuits where he sued CPS both in state and federal and won millions of dollars. He's a pit bull, and a lot of the agencies do not like him because he's shown how they can be really bad. My social worker committed perjury on the stand. And if I had the money, I would have had him chase after them. But I unfortunately spent all my money hiring him. I hired Mr. Davis late in the game. It wasn't where I wanted right away. So that's why I'm telling you right now is that if you want an attorney, well, not if you want one, you should have an attorney because fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. They're not transparent, they retaliate, they're evil. All they think about is the money part of aspects. There are 1,000 children every day that are being hurt that need to be protected, and they're not doing their job. As I told you about the little 5-year-old girl, she's an innocent life. If you can imagine being 5 years and robbed of your adulthood, your teenage years, your adolescence years because of sick people, like the guy that raped her at 25, and other people that wanted to help her. When they found her, she was barely alive, but they couldn't revive her. She was too far gone. She had been living in a camp and she had been really hurt by adults and the family she was living in. So, where are you? I ask you out there, CPS, if you're listening. Where were you? Why did you not protect that girl in Kansas? Why? Why are you chasing all these families that may have hiccups that could be corrected by parenting classes or programs? Because the Child Protection Agency is supposed to protect our kids from neglect and abuse. It's mandated by Congress, but it isn't being done by the CPS. Not only that, they're supposed to help you in the need of food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education, medical, and get a job. They're supposed to do that. You're supposed to ask them that help if you need it. Furthermore, if they need to break up the family because of extreme danger of domestic violence or something harms that child, they will take the child away from you. But there's certain ways they got to do it. It's got to be done legally through warrants. You don't give up your children. You don't talk to social workers. You don't let them in your house. That's my rule number 4 when I talk about that more there. Because anything you say will be used against you. Anything you say will be used against you. Unfortunately, in 2010, I lost my job through no fault of my own. And so I was hassled for 5 years by the child protection system. And they got complaints from lay people. Well, the lay people, it turns out, I did not know at the time, were my in-laws, my wife's mother, father, her 3 sisters, and her brother. We're calling in once a week for 5 years. Hey, the mother and dad aren't taking care of the kids. They're not feeding them, not clothing them, not taking them to school. The house is disrepaired, so forth like that. Well, I fought them for 5 years. They inspected the house. They saw nothing wrong. I showed them my utility bills that I paid and showed them the grade reports that are doing well in school. All the things there. I kept it at bay for 5 years. But social services is very corrupt. They're determined, especially they know someone's not working and no one has money for an attorney, they're going to attack that individual. If you have an attorney, they kind of back off. And what I mean by attorney is the one that just spoke, for a couple minutes there, Vincent Davis. Not the court-appointed attorney, the ones that they are supposed to provide if you don't have funds for an attorney. The court-appointed attorney, or a public defender, if you want to call it a different term, that attorney just has a brief legal background. He just starts out in law. He does not have a family juvenile dependency law background. And he won't fight for your case. He's got his plate full with over 30 cases of clients he's trying to defend. There's no way he can defend that many people and do anything on the cases. All he does is goes with whatever social services says, the social workers of CPS, whatever they say, and the judge and their attorneys, everybody, they're all corrupt. It's all corrupt. It's sad because your child is. This morning I had a lady call in and she has a dependency hearing come up and she had domestic violence with her husband and she called CPS and then it backfired because they took the children from her and now she's worried that she may lose her rights. There's so many of these cases and so many bad cases and everything. Excuse me. All right, I'm back. I had to take care of. I was fixing dinner for my family, and I had to turn off the heat. And normally, I come on later. Welcome, Lady P. I'm so glad that you joined my room. And Faye, oh, I'm so glad you're here, Faye. I was hoping you would call in tonight. Um, I'm glad you found out to come on early. Lady P says, our CT general statutes don't have many clearly defined statutes when it comes to what CPS can do legally or not. Now, I know Department of Children Families is what you're talking about, but I call that CPS. Now, I don't know what CT stands for, unless that's for Connecticut. I need to know where you're from there. I want to give a warm welcome to Faye. Faye has been on my podcast for a long time, and she's a single mother. She's been through the whole system. She was a foster care in and out 5 times, and unfortunately, her mother was not very good with her, very abusive, and it was a sad story. It even got worse because somehow she got her high school degree, but she was raped and molested and trafficking as a teenager. But she got a GED, which is through the government, and she got her high school diploma, and she went to college, and she got a nursing degree. And so from there, she started to have relationships and children. And unfortunate, her mother went after her children because she would get help with her children, incentives, because both her children were in special needs. Her daughter had special needs and got special disability from social services. And then her son had special needs too. Unfortunately, they had to make her choose between what child to keep, and they wanted her daughter. And so her daughter was put into foster care at an early age, 8 months. And so her daughter's already bonded with the foster care. She kept her son and she takes care of his son, but her son is a special needs child. And God bless Faye for doing that, because he's in his 20s. He's a difficult child at times. And without a father, I don't know if lack of discipline or whatnot, but she struggles at times there. And she still struggles with the injuries she got when she was told to stand outside on rocks as the foster care parents would try to punish her. So she's been through everything. She fights for CPS. She fights for your rights. She'll talk to you. She'll come on the show and help me with things. So she is a very wonderful woman. She's single, and she really cares. She really knows. She's a great cook, by the way, and she loves animals. And so she's struggling like a lot of us are. But she's from Richmond, Kentucky. Now, we have Lady P, and I think Lady P has said another comment here, so let me see what that says. Lady P says the statutes do say are something like the Department of Children Families, which is CPS, Commission shall draft and put into place policies to get XYZ done. You're right. Again, I don't know what state. I don't know if it's Connecticut you're calling from, but I'd like to know the city, the state, or the county that you're calling from. Lady P says, my question there is, are those DCF policies, CPS policies, for all intents and purposes equal to state law? Well, that's a good question, and I don't know if Faye can answer that question better than I can. She may know the answer. Is it the policies and procedures of CPS state law? All I know, and Faye, if you can hear me, maybe you can know up the answer of that question there. Lady P further says, yes, Connecticut. Okay, what part of Connecticut are you from? What is your county or your city? And then Lady P further says, for instance, when they blatantly disregard their policies, can they be held accountable for breaking the laws of sort? They can be held accountable. If they commit perjury, they can be sued. Your case has got to be closed. Uh, Lady P from Connecticut. We have Faye there. I asked a question, Faye, if the state laws are CPS laws just like the state laws. All I know is that Congress delegated the social services to um, uh, help out protect our children from neglect and abuse. And as I said earlier, they're supposed to do family needs of things, and they're supposed to do reunification because the best family are your reunification families. Now, Lady P says New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, I know about where New Haven is. And it's so sad because that part of the world is very wealthy and unfortunate that you have your case with them. I don't know if you have an attorney or not. Um, because if you have an attorney, he can handle your case. Now, before I forget, there are other ways to interact with this podcast. One, you're already in the room doing text messaging and emojis, and I appreciate that. Don't forget to click the follow or the notification. Now, if you want to send something like what Faye is doing and what Lady P is doing, all you have to do is text a message about CPS dealing with your question or comment. All I ask you is to put your first name and your city or county and then your state. Now, if you're from a country, you're going to probably have a province. And I also like to know your country. Yes, countries do have CPS problems. It's worldwide. I know England really has it bad. Some of the countries in Africa I've talked to, Mozambique, Rwanda, Liberia, and the west coast of South Africa. They have a province there called the West Coast. I think it's called the West Coast. The West Cape, I think is what it's called there. Anyway, they do call in and stuff, and so that is really important there. Now, let's see what Faye has to say. She's so good at this. Okay, Faye's answer. In my state, the standard of practice and procedures are separated from the state laws. And if they break their own policies, they're supposed to be held accountable. But in my state, that is non-existent. The ombudsperson and the higher ups do nothing. And Faye, tried to open her case again. They supposedly redid what they call their CPS department, the cabinet. And with a new ombudsperson, she thought they could review and see if they did wrong about taking her child or something like that. And they came back to her and said the same thing. Oh, we're perfectly fine. We did the right thing. It was wrong what happened to Faye. All she wants to do is get a message out to her daughter. She cannot take the daughter back, but she realizes that daughter has already bonded with her new foster care parent. She doesn't want to do that. But she wants her daughter to know that she loved her daughter, that it was not her choice to give up her daughter, that she could take care of her daughter and provide for her daughter. What's so weird is they say that she couldn't take care of her daughter, but they let her take care of her special needs son. In fact, she had another child that was a year younger than her son that they asked her, can you watch that child on the weekends? So how can CPS tell her that she's not fit to take care of her daughter and she's taking care of a child on the weekend and her own son? That is the most ridiculous, archaic place Kentucky is. It's the bottom of the barrel. It's the pits with CPS. And the police are just as corrupt as the rest of them. Just as corrupt. Now, Lady P, see what Lady P says. Nowhere in the statute does it cover that CPS needs to go through judicial if it's a possible first before removing children without a warrant, but the CPS does not. Well, that's because they're corrupt. You see, what people don't realize, they keep asking me, what can we do? What can we change? You got a group of individuals in every state and every county that does their own thing. There's no board of directors, no supervisors, no one watching at the federal level, no one watching at the state level. They have what's called an ombudsperson, or a guardian of litem, or a CASA. And these people are worthless because all they are is open ears for CPS. They're very corrupt. It's all about money. It's all about money, Lady P. And Faye further says, see what Faye further says. If they break the state law, you have to sue them and always appeal any judge's final rulings. You will have to get objections and evidence on the record, or you'll lose your appeal. She's so right. See, and again, it takes money because you have to hire an attorney. You have to hire an attorney. And Lady P further says, yes, I've already reported to the ombudsperson, but no help. Yes, it's kind of pointless. The ombudsperson is kind of useless there. I'm sorry, Lady P. Now, as I was saying, that, there's ways to interact, and one of them is to text the messages. You guys are doing good now, but try to be complete with your CPS case also, so that way you don't have to go back and forth and ask a lot of questions. But a third way is you can become a guest on my podcast. And that is really nice because as a guest, you can have, just like I am on the screen, I can have up to 9 guests, total of 10 people at one time. And they can talk about their case. All you have to do is send an email to my show producer. Her name is Grace. I want to thank Grace for the hard work she does, keeping everything going and what she does. And so you just send her an email. You pick one of my 14 shows, Sunday or Wednesday, and it's either morning or evening. And you send that in to her. Her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. She will contact you, give you the link, and the link you get on StreamYard. I'm broadcasting YouTube, but use the StreamYard application. And if you lose your link, reuse the same link that was sent to you because it's good for the whole show. So all you do is email her at grace@vincentwdavis.com. She'll tell you the do's or don't or what to do on the podcast. Now, a fourth way is to call in, and that is my office phone number, 626-698-0990. I am live right now. I am live, and you can talk right now. And I will put you on speakerphone. And by the way, if you call in or you're a guest and you talk on the show, you're entitled to a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. He will sit down and talk about the strategies and how to fight your case, and you're with a real attorney. You're with a real attorney. And it's free. You get 50 minutes of private consultation on a Zoom meeting with Mr. Davis. All you have to do is call in, and you're on my speakerphone, or be a guest. And I'll ask you, do you want to see Mr. Davis? And then you'll send me your full name, your email, and your phone number, and I'll make the arrangements to get you to talk to Mr. Davis. I actually send it to Grace, who's my show producer, and she takes care of it from there. So my number's up. Please call during my show time. I cannot answer it before my show time or after my show time. So it's up there. Now, Lady P further says, and if you want to call in, Lady P, you can. Most CPS policies require daily visits with newborns and infants. When they do not do that and bond with a caregiver instead of the mother, that's on them. Yes, that is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And I'm sorry that they had to take your children, especially your young children. I don't know what neglect or abuse you're charged with. I like to help you with other questions you may have. There, you can also call in, Lady P. I've been studying the laws and statutes and policy for months. I'm almost ready to enact my plan of writing a demand letter to the commissioner. I hope that worked. I've tried to go to the top. In fact, Faye and I a couple months ago called Congress, and it was really funny because they answered. And then we talked to the operator that says we want to speak to the senator in New York. And she gave us the number. Of course, we called the senator's office. All we got was voicemail, and they've not called me back. So I do try to reach out. I do try to make changes. So it is hard there. You love to be a guest? I'd love to have you, lady. If you want to call in right now, you can call in and talk. And Faye and I can help you, and other people in this room can help you. Or Faye, if you want to call in and help me help these other people and talk about issues, that'd be great. Faye will do that. She and I will talk because it's nice to have that voice there. Now, I covered about how they interact with this podcast. There are 4 ways. And I told you about CPS, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give you another example of what CPS is all about. There was a case in 2022. This wasn't a CPS case. And Faye, I need to tell you about that girl in Kansas. They weren't able to save her. I started the show to talk about a 5-year-old girl that was raped and sent to a camp in the wilderness. And she was struggling to keep alive. And they found her, but it was too late to save her. And I hate to start off with that, but where are the social workers? Come on, social workers, talk to me. I've only had 3 social workers talk here. They were great. I don't bite. Please talk to me. I don't bite you either. But it seems like the majority of the police, the majority of the social workers have one thing in mind. They want to destroy families. They want to knock down people. And that is wrong. The police are supposed to protect and serve. You know the words? Protect and serve. They're not supposed to be palsies with the CPS worker and follow things that are not supposed to be done. And CPS out there, you're supposed to do reunification. I know there was a law in 1997 passed by Bill Clinton, the president, William Clinton. And it's an incentive law. It's where the CPS is given money if they get the children's adopted because they're taking too long with family reunification. And that should be where they should go because the best parents are the biological parents for raising children. But anyway, I have lots of knowledge. I have over 75 topics loaded. I could talk about anywhere, any case that you may want to talk to. Now, to be a guest, I've already told you, all you do is write an email to grace@vincentwdavis.com. Okay, Lady P will call in a few minutes. Good to hear. While she's doing that, I'll very quickly, hold on a second. Okay. I got to keep track of our time. We have about 8 minutes before I have to sign off because of Vincent Davis's podcast. So I'm going to go over my rules really quickly. There are 5 of them. The first one I've pretty much talked about is you need to get an attorney. It's like doing open heart surgery. Or if you're like Alice in Wonderland, you fell in the rabbit hole and you met the Chester cat and she sent you from room to room. They are terrible. They are so terrible. I think I forgot to finish that story about Prescott, Arizona. These 8 women social workers decided to buy pink t-shirts. Well, pink is a color that's recognized as breast awareness in cancer victims. And so they weren't doing that. They stenciled on the front professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they put parents, you know where your children are at. And they parade around in Costco Kmart, Walmart, Target, Best Buys, Penny's, Sears, all the large department stores in Prescott, Arizona. They were caught. They're immediately fired along with the director. That left the Department of Children's Services, the CPS, there with only one person to handle the phone calls, to do the investigation, to handle the cases. So it hurt the protection of children. You know, I just think of that little girl who's 5 years old that could still be alive if the CPS did their job. They are so much more concerned about taking your children. Now, I want to skip to that rule number 3 because I may not have time because of the time thing. But rule number 3 says you do not open your door. They're like strangers. You don't know who's at that door. Too many people have been killed by overzealous policemen thinking that they're going to get harm gets to them or whatever it is, and they had the wrong place. And innocent people. One guy was a black airman stationed in Gainesville, Florida at the Air Force, and he was talking to his girl on FaceTime, and when he opened the door, the sheriff shot him 5 times point blank. He's died. So that's why you don't open the door. There was a woman that let a policeman in the home, and she was doing the dishes, and he shot her in the face 5 times. She's dead. Now, I could go on and on about cases of police brutality. You've heard it. Not all police are bad, but there's enough bad apples that make it worse for the rest of them. And the same thing goes with social workers. Not all social workers are bad. But, you know, there's a girl in Ohio, a mother, that this 18-month-old child was dead when she came home 13 days later. She left the child abandoned in one of those bouncy chairs with no food or water for 13 days, no one to look after her. And she died because she was in her diapers for 13 days, and she got E. coli worms, and oh, God, it was terrible. Think about an 18-month-old child, what they're going through, what's going through their mind, the agony. So I'm telling you, these CPS workers are evil. Not all of them, but so far of the 600 cases, over 600 cases, and over a year, I've heard nothing but negatives about social workers. I, myself, had 2. And so don't let them in your home. Don't talk to them. You need to get an attorney. And you may not have the money to afford one, but you can start off with getting an attorney. And you don't want to meet in your home or at their office. You want to meet at a public place like McDonald's or Starbucks and talk about your case. And you need to have representation. I don't know how else to tell you that. Now, good evening, Faye, and welcome.
Hey.
Yeah, I got to cut the show early. You didn't come on early enough, but my show tonight is from 6 o'clock to 6:45 because my attorney, Vincent Davis, has a show at 7 o'clock, and I've been ordered by my show producer to be off the air at 6:45.
Okay.
So I got about 3 minutes, but I'm glad you called in. Lady,
I was confused on the time. So.
That's okay. Lady said something else here. She said from Connecticut, I tried 6 times to keep the line as busy. Well, it's interesting. Faye called me, and I'm sorry, Lady P, but I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So please call back, lady, or be a guest. And to be a guest, just write an email to grace@vincentwdavis.com. So is there anything you'd like to say in the remaining time that we have, which is roughly about 2 minutes? Faye? Faye, did I lose you? Faye?
No, I'm here. She
Okay.
said she tried calling but couldn't get through.
I know, she said 6 times. And
I
you,
got right through.
I know. I don't understand. Well, it's my luck here. But, lady, don't panic. I'm on again. I'm on twice a day. So you don't have to worry. You can call me tomorrow morning or call me tomorrow night. You can call me 7 o'clock tomorrow night or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Or, excuse me, it's 7:30 tomorrow morning. I got my time confused. I'll be on at 7:30 tomorrow morning. That's 7:30 tomorrow morning. Well, I'm going to have to go because the time now is 1 minute before it's 6:45. But I want to thank Lady from Connecticut that called in. Thank you, Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. Thank you for what you do. You are a blessed soul. You do not know how important Faye has been to me in this show. She's done so much for this show. She has a big, cunning heart. Faye, did you catch the thing about the girl, the little 5-year-old that died on Monday from Kansas?
I didn't.
Yeah, look it up. It'll really turn your stomach. She was raped by a 25-year man, and she was sent to a camp to live in the woods, and she was so malnutritious and so weathered out they couldn't save her. Anyway, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Please try to be with your family and friends. I know it's hard without your children. It's hard with me because I was hoping my children could be all together, but my family's been still broken up. And I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but it's recorded. So tomorrow, my wife and I will have to have Thanksgiving another day with our 2 boys. The rest of our 4 children are doing their own thing. It's hard when people grow up and they have fallen outs with kids and stuff. So I know it's hard, but I'm very blessed and thankful for all of you people. I want to help you. So keep fighting for your kids, and God bless y'all. And you're going to hear a brief message from Vincent Davis, who comes on at 7 o'clock. This is Bob signing off, and thank you, Faye. God bless you.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.